I'm going to show you how to do more with your Galaxy S6 or Galaxy S6 Edge keyboard. Now, I'm Josh Smith with GottaBeMobile.com, and you can really supercharge your Galaxy S6 keyboard if you know what to do. Now, one of the first things is remember you have this number row up here. Not every phone has it. It's much easier to enter your numbers that way. All of these other options up here, you can tap and hold and get to more options. So by tapping and holding, I can get to that. And you actually have to tap, hold, and then drag over if you want that other one. For punctuation, you can tap and hold on this and get a question mark. You have parentheses up here. Another option down here on the period, you have access to a lot more, as well as a symbol keyboard shortcut right there. This one of two will bump you over to a second set of symbols. Now, you can also change your settings. And before we jump into that, you can actually swipe. So you can type with a swipe. That's sometimes easier for people. You just swipe to the letters that you want to use, and you can type like that. We want to go into settings by tapping and holding on the microphone. So now I'm going to hit the setting option. It's going to bounce us out to a full list of settings. From here, we can change our language, add more languages. Predictive text is on by default. This will help predict what's going to show up next. Leave that on for most users. Auto replace is turned on by default. Auto check spelling. Normally that's off. We're going to turn that on, and that will default to English language on. So if I type something wrong, it's going to underline that in red and suggest a correction for me. One way to help if you commonly misspell things. Now, a lot of these are already on by default, the capitalized, spacing, and punctuation. I like to leave those on. If any of those annoy you and slow you down, go ahead and come in here and turn them off. You can also change what a keyboard swipe does. We like to leave it to swift key flow. That's how we can swipe around there. On the keyboard, we can turn that sound off and turn the vibration on. You can adjust those as you like. I don't like the keyboard noises. It tends to annoy people around you. You can also adjust the keyboard size. So you can drag the keyboard up a little bit or down a little bit. You don't get a whole lot of extra room, but you'll notice how big the keys get, how tall they get when I drag it all the way up, and how small they are when I go down. So you can kind of find an area that works just right for you and customize that. You can also reset to get it right back to the normal spot. You can reset all settings on your keyboard down here. Another one of my favorite things is to go into the, let's find it here, text shortcuts. So here we can add a shortcut that will fill in a bigger phrase. So I write a lot about Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. So if I'm typing on here, I don't want to type out Call of Duty Advanced Warfare all the time, especially with the punctuation. And so I can type all of this in. And now when I type in that anywhere, it's going to insert this over here. Now, more than likely, you're going to use this for your email address, your address, a common response. You're always telling your boss, like, don't worry, I have this handled. Set that up in here so you don't have to type the whole thing in. And then anywhere you type that, it's going to show up. I use it also a lot for my address so that I can send people my address without typing out the whole thing, punctuation, line break, etc. Really handy thing to do. And so say we're back out here. And so up here, it shows it. Down here, it shows what it's going to be. You can tap on it or you can hit space and it will show up there. Now, another thing that you can do is you can use the microphone to dictate. So if I tap on this, I can start talking and it will start showing this on the screen. It's very good, and I can see it as it goes, and I can say period, and it will start a new line, or I should say a new sentence. And I can also tap to pause and go back out and go to the keyboard if I need to correct something, and it will guess and it will learn over time and get better over time. Now, one of the other things that is handy to know if you're typing and say it learned a word you don't want it to learn. You can tap and hold on this and you can remove it and you can say OK, and that will remove the keyword from these known words. And although I don't really want to do that for Thursday, if for some reason this learned a vulgar word that's constantly being recommended to enter into conversation that you don't want it to recommend it, you can remove it there. So those are our tips and tricks to really supercharge your Galaxy S6 keyboard. One other final tip is if you tap and hold that over to the right of emoji, this is the emoji right here. If we tap on this one, you actually get a keyboard that you can move left or right. And you can even move it up or down. So you can set this keyboard wherever you want. Makes it a little bit easier to use one-handed because everything is all on one side. To get out of this, tap and hold on the microphone. Tap on that again. The last tip and trick, this little clipboard here will access your clipboard so you can see the recent things you've copied, or in this case, a bunch of screenshots. And if I want, I can add that into this document. You can't always add that into everything. That's all there is to supercharging your Galaxy S6 keyboard. If you found this useful, please hit like and subscribe. Check out the link in the description below for more on what you can do with your Galaxy S6.